The Gran Turismo DD Extreme gave me the cleanest sensations I've ever had on GT7, and still managed to cut force feedback after a firmware update. Let's see why I'm still using it, what it does better than the rest, and how to set it up properly without getting caught by the usual traps. Quick verdict first, just to set the scene. On PS5 with GT7, it's one of the most consistent bases I've tested on my rig. On PC, it's excellent. But the competition is tougher. I'll explain when it's worth it, and when it's not. Quick note, in the description you'll find affiliate links to the gear. I earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. Thanks if you use them. When I took the base out of the box, the first thing I noticed was how dense it feels. Compact, clean, no unnecessary gimmicks. The metal QR2 quick release locks with a solid click, and once tightened properly, there's zero play. The Gran Turismo wheel is very functional. Screen, LED bar, joysticks, everything right under your thumbs. The magnetic paddles have a sharp, almost too snappy click at first, but the travel is precise and the feedback feels reassuring. The grip finish is fine, not flashy. Personally, I'd have liked a richer leather feel, and the stitching can tickle your palm depending on your grip. Noise-wise, on my unit, no weird whining. Overall, it feels very serious, more like a tool than a showpiece, and I actually like that. Depending on game support, some of the base's special features, like full force style haptics, might not be full use yet, but even without them is already impressive. Setup wise, it's direct drive. You clamp it, not kinda tighten it. If your rig isn't stiff enough, you'll feel it. My tip, prep your bolts in advance. Fanatec doesn't always include the perfect hardware for every cockpit. Take time to align the shaft. Even a slight angle can change everything over long sessions. Quick story. First evening, I got overconfident. Bolted the base, good enough, felt a tiny play mid-corner. Lost the car. I redid everything. Alignment, torque, QR2 check. And the difference was obvious. On PS5, GT7 detected it instantly. Most of my recent Fanatec wheels worked fine, and depending on the car and mapping, the clutch paddles can be used for standing starts. On PC, I install the Fanatec app, tweak everything there, and use it for the LEDs and display too. Important, after any driver or firmware update, I always check the app first. If it doesn't recommend recalibration or flashing, I don't force it. And when you mount the wheel, push it until you get that real QR2 click. Don't be shy. A half-seated mount will cause headaches later. In the app, telemetry display is great, though if you overload it with data, it can feel slightly delayed. My approach, start simple, then add only what you really need. On track, that's where the base shows its true nature. In GT7, there's so much headroom. You can run strong torque without crushing the fine detail. The micro vibrations from curbs, the bite and release of ABS, the diff starting to load up. You feel it coming before it bites. Result, I catch oversteer earlier, get back on throttle with more confidence, and my consistency improves. In VR, the sense of presence is wild. The front of the car actually weighs something in your hands. My safe baseline preset for GT7 to tweak for your rig, base strength around medium-high, light smoothing to avoid harshness without dulling detail, minimal damping on the bass side, and in-game FFB around medium to avoid clipping. If it's breaking your arms, lower base strength. If you're losing fine grip cues, raise in-game force slightly or ease up on filtering. Adjust in small steps, always test with the same car track combo. On Assetto Corsa Competizione PC, it feels raw. Mechanical in the best way. Tire texture, progressive slip, curb detail. You can literally build the car through your hands. Automobilista 2 gives very rich sensations with that organic feel that matches its physics. Depending on the F1 game version, feedback can feel a bit light or artificial at first. I had to tweak it to add some weight and filter out the excess. Once tuned, it's solid. Other PC games sometimes had minor quirks at launch. Then later patches or driver updates fixed them. Nothing major, but clearly this base benefits from tuning per title. Compared to my old GT DD Pro, the gap is clear. More headroom, more finesse, and above all the ability to drive below the limit while still feeling everything. Rotation feels smoother too. Gone is that slight notching I used to feel. Versus the Logitech Pro, this one feels more organic, less filtered. The Logitech is usually more plug and play. As for Moza or Samagic on PC, they offer great performance for the price, but you lose PS5 compatibility and GT7 integration. What I loved, the mix of power and detail. If you tune it right, it can get seriously strong, but you can also keep it civilized while retaining clarity. My unit silenced the QR2 stability once locked, and native PS5 support. For GT7, that's hard to beat. The magnetic paddles are a joy once you adapt, and the clutch paddles work perfectly for starts. What frustrated me, one software update caused FFB dropouts after a few sessions. On my unit, reverting to the stable firmware in the Fanatec app and recalibrating fixed it. My quick fix checklist: if you lose FFB, check cables and power, remove and reseat the QR2 properly, restart without the Fanatec app running, then recalibrate via the app. If that works, re-enable the app step by step. That solved it for me without reinstalling everything. Final verdict: if you mainly play GT7 on PS5, want native console hardware with no hacks, and expect a clear step up from entry-level bases, the Gran Turismo DD Extreme is a rock-solid choice. The experience is richer, clearer, more engaging. And yes, I gained a few tenths, mainly through consistency. If you're 100% PC, still check the competition. There are great raw performance options, though you'll lose console support. If you're just starting out, this might be overkill. Better to invest in a rigid rig, good pedals, and time on track first. But if you know you'll be driving a lot and want a setup with plenty of room to grow, chances are you'll love it. Tell me in the comments what base you're coming from and what's holding you back. And subscribe so you don't miss the next reviews and updates.